Matthew ZywOo Herbot, born on November 9, 2000 in France, stands as one of the most dominant and decorated players in Counter-Strike history, particularly in the Counter-Strike 2 era. At 25 years old, the French Opper has been with Team Vitality since October 2018, forming the core of their international roster and leading them to unprecedented success, including 3 CS2 majors, an ESL Grand Slam, and a record-breaking number of individual accolades. Nicknamed the Chosen One for his prodigious talent, ZywOo burst onto the scene as a teenager, earning HLTV's Player of the Year award in his debut full professional season of 2019, the youngest and first French player to do so. His seamless adaptation to CS2 upon its release in September 2023 has solidified his legacy, with HLTV ranking him #1 player in 2025 for the 4th time, tying Simple's record while surpassing it in key metrics like MVPs. Which mouse does ZywOo use? ZywOo currently uses the Pulsar ZywOo The Chosen mouse as his primary gaming peripheral. This mouse was developed in close collaboration with ZywOo himself and the gaming peripherals brand Pulsar, announced in June 2025 through a partnership facilitated by Prodigy Agency. The design process involved months of prototyping and testing to ensure it met ZywOo's exacting standards for precision, comfort, and performance in competitive esports environments. The Pulsar ZywOo The Chosen mouse is available in 2 sizes, mini and medium, to accommodate different hand sizes and grip preferences, with the medium being the one most closely associated with ZywOo's personal use. The medium variant measures 4.7 inches in length, 2.66 inches in width, and 1.71 inches in height, weighing approximately 59 grams without additional weights. It features an ergonomic, right-handed design optimized for palm grip users, providing enhanced support and reducing fatigue during extended play. The mouse includes a removable 5.8-gram weight module that allows users to fine-tune the total weight and center of gravity, precisely matching ZywOo's configuration for balanced handling. ZywOo mouse settings. ZywOo uses a DPI of 400, which is a common choice among professional players for its reliability in translating physical mouse movements into in-game actions without excessive speed or jitter. This DPI setting allows for controlled aiming, especially important for an opper who relies on pixel-perfect shots. Combined with an in-game sensitivity of 1.8, this results in an effective DPI of 720, which is on the lower side compared to some riflers but suits ZywOo's need for steady crosshair placement during high-stakes duels. His zoom sensitivity is set to 0.8, slightly lower than the default, enabling finer adjustments when scoped in with weapons like the AWP or Scout, which helps in maintaining consistency between scoped and unscoped aiming. In terms of hardware polling rate, ZywOo opts for 1000 Hz, which ensures smooth and responsive cursor movement by updating the mouse position 1000 times per second. This rate strikes a balance between performance and system stability, avoiding potential issues with higher rates like 8000 Hz that some players use but which can occasionally introduce latency in certain setups. His Windows sensitivity is configured at 6, the default value that most pros leave unchanged to prevent any OS-level interference with in-game controls. Raw input is typically enabled in his configuration to bypass Windows mouse acceleration and processing, ensuring that mouse movements are directly translated into the game without any filtering or enhancement, which is crucial for muscle memory development. Mouse acceleration is disabled, as is standard in competitive CS2, to provide predictable and linear movement regardless of how quickly the mouse is moved. ZywOo crosshair settings. ZywOo's crosshair is a small, static cyan cross without a center, optimized for clarity and quick target acquisition across various maps and situations. The specific parameters of ZywOo's current crosshair include a classic static style, with no follow recoil enabled to ensure it remains immobile during sprays. It features no center, a length of 1, a thickness of 1, and a gap of -4, creating a compact yet distinct cross that doesn't obscure distant enemies. The outline is disabled with an outline thickness of 1 as a fallback, and alpha transparency is set to 255 for full opacity. For color, it uses a custom cyan shade with RGB values of approximately 0 for red, 0 for green, and 0 for blue, providing a bright yet non-intrusive hue that stands out against most backgrounds in CS2. Additional settings like no T-style, no deployed weapon gap, and default split distances ensure consistency across weapons. These choices make the crosshair ideal for both rifling and sniping, aligning with ZywOo's versatile role on the team. ZywOo viewmodel settings. Let's break this down in detail. The FOV command controls the field of view for the weapon model itself, separate from the player's overall FOV. At 68, ZywOo's setting is on the higher end of the spectrum, which makes the weapon appear slightly larger and more prominent on screen without overwhelming the view. This can aid in better perceiving recoil patterns and animations, especially for weapons like the AWP that ZywOo frequently uses. Next, Offset X at 2.5 shifts the model horizontally to the right side of the screen, creating more space on the left for peripheral vision, which is beneficial in fast-paced engagements where enemies might approach from that direction. Continuing with the offsets, Offset Y is set to 0, meaning no forward or backward adjustment from the default position. Positive values would push the model further away from the player, while negative values bring it closer. By keeping it at 0, ZywOo maintains a neutral depth, ensuring the weapon doesn't feel too intrusive or detached. The Offset Z at -1.5 lowers the model vertically, which helps clear the center of the screen for better target acquisition and reduces visual clutter during aiming. This lowered position is a common choice among professionals as it mimics a more realistic holding stance while prioritizing gameplay efficiency. Additionally, Preset Pose 2 selects the couch preset, which is a predefined base configuration that positions the model in a relaxed, slightly angled manner, often preferred over the Desktop 1 or Classic for its balance of centering and ergonomics. ZywOo Launch Options. This concise trio reflects a pro-level approach prioritizing efficiency without bloat. The Novid flag skips the introductory Valve videos and splash screens that play on launch, reducing startup time by several seconds, a small but cumulative advantage during practice sessions or quick scrim queues. Next, Tick rate 128 sets the tick rate for local servers to 128 Hz, matching the standard for Valve's official matchmaking and Faceit ESEA competitive servers. This ensures consistent hit registration and movement simulation in practice modes, though it has no effect on client-side online play in CS2 due to the engine's subtick system. Finally, allow_third_party_software explicitly permits overlays and recording software such as OBS Studio, Discord, or NVIDIA Shadowplay, which might otherwise be blocked for anti-cheat reasons. However, pros like ZywOo use this judiciously, as it can potentially lower your trust factor if abused, though legitimate streaming tools are generally fine. ZywOo Radar Settings. Delving deeper into the specifics, ZywOo's radar HUD size is set to 1, which strikes a balance between visibility and screen real estate, ensuring the radar is prominent enough to glance at during intense firefights but not so large as to obstruct the main view. His radar map zoom is configured at 0.7, a value that offers a slightly zoomed-out perspective compared to the default, allowing for broader map coverage and better anticipation of rotations or flanks. Additionally, the minimum icon scale for radar elements is often reported around 0.6, which keeps player and objective icons compact yet distinguishable, reducing clutter while maintaining clarity. These parameters are part of his overall config file, which players can download from verified sources to import directly into their game, though it's recommended to tweak them based on personal preference after testing in practice modes. ZywOo Video Settings. ZywOo's primary in-game resolution is 1024x768 at a 4:3 aspect ratio, stretched to fill his 24.5-inch ZywOo XL2566K monitor, which creates the classic stretched look favored by many CS pros for making models appear wider and easier to hit. He occasionally switches to 1280x960 for the same aspect ratio, depending on the event or preference, but data indicates 1024x768 is used more frequently. The display mode is always full screen, with brightness set to 71%, boost player contrast enabled to make enemies pop against backgrounds, and VSync disabled to eliminate input lag. NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency is enabled on his RTX 3080 GPU for reduced system latency, while G-Sync remains off and maximum FPS is capped at 400 to prevent wild fluctuations and maintain stable 1% lows around 300 plus FPS on his high-end rig. These choices ensure buttery smooth gameplay at 360 Hz without overwhelming his hardware. Diving deeper into the advanced video settings, ZywOo opts for 4x MSAA to smooth jagged edges without the heavy performance hit of higher modes, paired with high global shadow quality and all dynamic shadows enabled for better depth perception and enemy spotting in dark areas, a subtle edge in post-plant or smokes. Model and texture detail are set to high, allowing detailed weapon skins and player models without clutter, while texture filtering uses anisotropic 4x for crisp, distant surfaces. Shader detail and particle detail are also high in his primary config, though some trackers note occasional drops to low particles for even more FPS. Ambient occlusion is medium to add realistic shading without darkening corners too much. High dynamic range is on quality mode for vibrant colors, and Fidelity FX Super Resolution is disabled at highest quality to avoid any upscaling blur. This setup yields exceptional visibility, as higher shadows and textures help outline foes, while the overall config keeps his FPS stable above 400 on average during LAN play. ZywOo Monitor Settings. Delving into the specific monitor adjustments, which are based on configurations applicable from his previous ZywOo XL2546K model but carried over to the XL2566K, ZywOo utilizes DIAC set to premium for enhanced motion clarity without introducing artifacts. The black equalizer is tuned to 12, which brightens dark areas to reveal hidden enemies without washing out the overall image. Color vibrance is cranked up to 20 for more saturated hues that make in-game elements pop, while low blue light is disabled at 0 to preserve color accuracy. He selects FPS 1 as the picture mode, optimized for first-person shooters like CS2, with brightness at 83 for clear visibility in varied lighting conditions, contrast at 50 to maintain depth, and sharpness at 10 for crisp edges. Gamma is set to Gamma 3 for balanced shadows and highlights, and the color temperature is user-defined with red, green, and blue all at 100, ensuring a neutral tone that doesn't skew perceptions. Additionally, AMA is on premium to minimize ghosting, further refining the display's performance. ZywOo Skins. For rifles, he frequently uses the AK-47 Fire Serpent or AK-47 Gold Arabesque in factory new condition, both of which feature intricate designs and can be valued in the thousands of dollars due to their rarity. On the CT side, the M4A1S Printstream or M4A1S Fade stands out for its clean, modern aesthetic, often in pristine factory new wear. His AWP of choice is the legendary AWP Gungnir, a Norse-inspired skin from the Norse collection, typically in minimal wear, known for its mythical dragon motif and status as one of the most expensive AWPs in the game. Pistols in his loadout include the USPS Kill confirmed in factory new for its detailed artwork, the Glock 18 Fade with its vibrant gradient pattern, and the Desert Eagle Code Red in minimal wear, adding a bold red accent to his arsenal. These selections not only enhance visual flair but also align with pro preferences for skins that don't obstruct visibility during intense gameplay. In the knife category, he owns several covert tier pieces such as the Butterfly Knife Doppler Sapphire, Karambit Doppler Sapphire, M9 Bayonet Doppler Sapphire, Butterfly Knife Marble Fade, and Falchion Knife Marble Fade, many of which support StatTrack for kill tracking. These knives are prized for their phase patterns and can fetch prices upwards of $10,000 each in top conditions. For sniper rifles, his inventory boasts the AWP Gungnir alongside the AWP Desert Hydra, AWP Asimov, and SSG-08 Deathstrike, providing options for different map themes or moods. Pistols extend to the Desert Eagle Fennec Fox, Desert Eagle Ocean Drive, and Dual Berettas Melodrama, offering variety for eco rounds or force buys. ZywOo Gears. ZywOo's setup includes custom editions of peripherals designed in partnership with him, ensuring they align perfectly with his playstyle. This includes hardware that prioritizes low latency, ergonomic design, and high refresh rates to maintain his edge in competitive matches. Starting with his primary input devices, ZywOo's mouse is the Pulsar ZywOo The Chosen Mouse Black, a wireless ergonomic mouse weighing just 59 grams for effortless movement. For typing and in-game commands, ZywOo employs the ASUS ROG Falchion Ace HFX ZywOo Edition keyboard, a compact 75% form factor model with ROG HFX magnetic switches that offer rapid actuation and customizable feel. ZywOo's visual output is handled by the ZywOo XL2566K monitor, a 24.5-inch TN panel with a native 1920 by 1080 resolution and an impressive 360 Hz refresh rate. Powering his rig is a high-end PC recently upgraded in January 2026, courtesy of ASUS ROG. It boasts an AMD Ryzen 7 9800X 3D processor for superior multi-threaded performance, an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5090 graphics card for handling CS2's demanding graphics at high frame rates, 64GB of DDR5 RAM for seamless multitasking, and an ASUS ROG Thor 1200W power supply for stable energy delivery. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on the esports player and his settings. Drop a comment below sharing your favorite gaming setup tips for what you'd like to see next on the channel. Let's build a gaming community together.